What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with another video. Fans love discussing dream matches, arguing who would win contests between the best of the best. In this video we're going to try something a little bit different than our usual videos. We're matching up the first 25 and second 25 WWE Champions in the order that they held the belt. Would these matches be gold or garbage? You decide by commenting the top 10 matches you would love to see. Keep in mind that each wrestler is working in the prime of their career. So let's start off with the first ever WWE Champion, Buddy Rogers, versus the 26th WWE Champion, Vince McMahon. The original Nature Boy finds the accidental champion Mr. McMahon is tougher than he looks and full of tricks. The arrogant Rogers versus arrogant McMahon would be a great battle of the bullies in terms of talk and in-ring action. Next up is the second ever WWE Champion, Bruno Sammartino versus the 27th Champion, Big Show. The longest reigning champion has faced big men before, but never anyone the height of the Big Show. Remember, this is the Big Show at his prime, not the giant-sized jobber to the stars. This would literally and figuratively be the best match of Bruno's career, with Bruno playing the rare role of underdog. Now we have the third ever WWE Champion, Ivan Koloff versus the 28th Champion, Kurt Angle. Koloff isn't a skilled technician, but he is tough as nails and more than capable of dishing out and taking tremendous amounts of punishment. Add in a Russia versus USA angle and this should be a classic battle. Number 4 would be Pedro Morales versus the 29th Champion, Chris Jericho. Pedro's mic and in-ring skills are from a much different era, and Jericho would have his hands full keeping this one exciting for today's fans. Pedro's work was fantastic for the WWF of his era, but this match would be hard for either man to pull off. The 5th Champion, Stan Stasiak versus the 30th Champion, Brock Lesnar. This is the mismatch of all the matches on our list. The man who held the WWF Championship just 9 days against a multiple WWE Champion and UFC Champion. The key to making this match work is to sell the Heart Punch as a deadly move. If the fans can be conditioned that the Heart Punch can fell the beast incarnate, this match might fly. Otherwise, it's another squash. The 6th Champion, Superstar Billy Graham versus the 31st Champion, Eddie Guerrero. This bout is as much about the promos and hype leading up to the match as the match itself. The colourful Graham and cocky Guerrero have fun insulting each other. Their style in the ring is different, with Graham being more of a brawler, but Guerrero should have no problem making this an entertaining matchup. 7th World Champion Bob Backlund would be going up against the 32nd World Champion JBL. JBL's clothesline from hell and brawling tactics are reminiscent of Backlund's opponent Stan Hansen. Backlund could work bloody brawls pretty well, so a match like a bull rope match or a Texas death match would be ideal for both men. Next up, the 8th Champion, the Iron Sheik, will be going up against the 33rd Champion, John Cena. Sheiky and John Cena could put on a great series. The Sheik's off-the-wall promos would be great fodder for Cena, particularly during his freestyling days. As for their match, both power-based wrestlers could pound the snot out of each other as they go for their submission holds. The 9th World Champion Hulk Hogan would go up against the 34th Champion Edge. This one would certainly work best with Hogan playing babyface and Edge playing his cocky heel gimmick as the rated R superstar. The promos would be fantastic, especially with Edge's sense of humor, and he could work his high spots while bumping for Hogan. The 10th Champion Andre the Giant would then face the 35th Champion Rob Van Dam. It's difficult to conceive the 8th wonder of the world having a good match with RVD unless you can recall Andre's early years when he performed drop kicks and other moves uncommon for a man his size. We're not exactly saying Andre would perform hurricanranas, but this match could be more exciting than you imagine. Next up, we would have the 11th World Champion Randy Savage versus the 36th Champion Randy Orton. Both wrestlers can brawl and sell. Orton doesn't work well as a babyface, so this should be a babyface Macho Man seeking revenge on a heel Randy Orton. Savage's added aerial attacks would make this match extra special. Unfortunately, Macho's spectacular promos would show up Orton's average mic skills. The 12th Champion, the Ultimate Warrior, would be facing against the 37th Champion Jeff Hardy. This, unfortunately, is a disaster waiting to happen. It's difficult to imagine the Warrior selling high spots well. This wouldn't work unless the Warrior squashed Hardy. The most entertaining part of this program would be both men's incomprehensible pre-match promos. The 13th World Champion Sergeant Slaughter would face the 38th World Champion Batista. Pitting these two in a speciality match like a boot camp match would be the ideal way to make this one an above average match. Slaughter can sell and bump for Batista until the eventual underhanded tactic turns the tide. Just make sure you can show blood for maximum effect. The 14th World Champion The Undertaker versus the 39th Champion Sheamus. The Undertaker's promos would be entertaining, but let's keep Sheamus away from the mic. Taker has shown he can work a great match with someone like Sheamus, and there's no reason this one shouldn't be a good old-fashioned slobber knocker. The 15th World Champion Ric Flair would go up against the 40th World Champion The Miz. One of the matches with the most potential, both in terms of promos and in-ring work. Either guy can play face or heel and deliver a terrific match against the other. Fans who watched Slick Rick in the 70s and 80s know he can cut a 10-minute promo and keep you glued to your seat. The Miz and Flair could work a 60-minute Broadway and have fans asking for more time. The 16th World Champion Bret Hart would go against the 41st Champion CM Punk. The excellence of execution versus the straight edge superstar would be another 5-star classic in the making. Punk's mic skills are superior, but Hart can hold his own, making for an all-around enjoyable series. Number 17 would see Yokozuna versus the 42nd Champion Rey Mysterio. Rey is certainly familiar with the David vs Goliath program, but this one might test the fans' patience, as Yokozuna was the most dominant heel during his time in the WWF. This would be best left as a squash, as Rey defeating Yokozuna is inconceivable. 18th World Champion Diesel will be going up against the 43rd World Champion Alberto Del Rio. Diesel will cut some hilarious promos on Del Rio, but their battle in the squared circle would be boring. Del Rio's methodical style is so different than Nash's power-based arsenal that fans will be tuning out nearly as fast as a cruiserweight match. 19th World Champion Shawn Michaels would face 44th World Champion Daniel Bryan. Perhaps the greatest match on this list. Michaels and Daniel could put on the match of the century in any type of bout, but imagine something like a 3 stages of hell match: pinfall, submission, and a ladder match. The match would be so good it might wreck the space-time continuum, particularly if it follows anything involving James Ellsworth. 20th Champion Sid would go up against the 45th Champion Seth Rollins. Rollins can bump and sell as Sid throws him around the ring. Seth's promos will sell the match while Sid's will keep the fans laughing, especially if they air on live TV. Rollins' ability to elevate other wrestlers should make this better than it looks on paper, but knowing that Sid is hazardous in the ring and Rollins being very fragile most times, WWE should think about having an ambulance on standby. 21st Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin would go off against 46th World Champion Roman Reigns. Stone Cold tells Reigns what a piece of trash he is, and fans cheer the Texas Rattlesnake on. Reigns' promos will probably be drowned out by what chants as the fans crap all over him. As for the match, this should be an excellent brawl. During his peak, Austin could work with anyone and he'll have no problem working with Reigns. This should definitely be in the top 10 matches due to Austin's work and Reigns' selling. 22nd World Champion Kane would go off against 47th World Champion Dean Ambrose. This could be a lot of fun with both men being portrayed as madmen. Put them in a stipulation match like an ambulance match and you'll have a memorable Donnybrook. 23rd Champion The Rock would face 48th Champion AJ Styles. We know the phenomenal one can't keep up with the great one on the mic, but he can hold his own, just as The Rock can hold his own against Styles' superior ring skills. This should be an electrifying match. 24th World Champion Mankind would face off against 49th Champion Bray Wyatt. Both wrestlers should provide an engaging build-up to their match as they play mind games with each other. Dark promos with cryptic messages will entice fans into what should be a violent encounter. Put the two in a Hell in a Cell and this could be one of wrestling's greatest brawls ever. And our last match on the list, 25th World Champion Triple H would face off against the now 50th World Champion Jinder Mahal. Triple H will get the most out of this match possible. Hunter's promos will be solid, if not spectacular. The match itself isn't going to rank as a classic, but it shouldn't be the worst on our list. Well guys, there you have it. The first 25 WWE Champions versus the next 25 WWE Champions. What do you think? Would these matches be gold or garbage? Let us know in the comments down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, it's something that we don't do very regularly. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.